Alright, this is chapter 7, lessons 1 and 2. Doing the guided practice off page 538 and page 546. This is about angles, different angle pairs, classifying angles, naming angles. So this is page 538 to start. First one says, name the angles below in 4 ways, then classify it as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Name it. To be naming it, you need to be aware of this one, which is called the vertex. That's where the two line segments or rays meet to form an angle. So when I look at this, I can name this simply by its vertex. So I could call it angle E. I could name it by all 3 points, but E is the special one, remember? E is a special one, so it has to be in the middle, the vertex. Angle DEF is a way to say it. You could also go angle FED. That's the exact same thing, just a different order, but the E has to be in the middle, the vertex. And then also, you could, since they put a 2 inside it, they want to be able to name it by angle 2. So there are 4 ways to do it. Angle E by the vertex alone, vertex in the middle, or angle 2. When I want to classify it, I'm talking about, is this an acute, which means less than 90, right, which means exactly 90, obtuse, which means greater than 90 and less than 180, or straight. So let me show you what a right angle would be. A right angle would be straight up. It is obviously less than that, so it is going to be an acute angle. Anything larger than 90, like this angle, like FE, let's call this C, FEC would be an obtuse angle. And if I had FEM would be a straight angle. But the one we're talking about is right over here, and it is acute, less than 90. All right, number 2. Number 2 says, find the value of x in the figure. Well, what do I know about those? Those two are called vertical angles. Vertical angles are when you have an intersection of lines, rays, or segments. The angles that are across from each other are called vertical angles, and vertical angles are always congruent. There's a symbol for congruent. So now all I need to know is that 2x plus 4 is the same as a 100-degree angle. So that's an algebraic equation we can solve. They did this and this, so let me undo. I get 96 equals 2x. I divide by 2, and I get x equals 48. So x equals 48. Number 3 says, identify a pair of vertical angles and adjacent angles on the railroad crossing. So let me talk about vertical angles. Angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. They're opposite each other. Angle 1 is then congruent to angle 3 because they're vertical. Angle 2 is also congruent to angle 4. So angle 2 is congruent to angle 4 because they are sets of vertical angles. Adjacent angles means they are right next door. That means they share a common vertex and one common side. So 3 and 4 share this vertex and that side. Angle 3 and angle 4 are said to be adjacent. That does not make them congruent necessarily, but it makes them adjacent. Angle 1 and angle 4 are also side by side. Angle 1 and 2 are side by side. And angle 2 and 3 are side by side. These, of course, being sets of adjacent angles. Number 4 says, describe the difference between vertical and adjacent. Well, the difference between vertical and adjacent, I always think vertical as being opposite each other. They can't be side by side, they have to be opposite. Adjacent I think of as side by side or right next door. So to draw a picture of that, vertical angles, when two things meet, are opposite each other, like this one and this one. They're congruent. These two are congruent because they're also vertical angles. In that same picture, however, adjacent means they share the same vertex and a common side. So when I talk about this side, this one, this angle, and this angle, angle 1 and 2, are sharing that same side. They are said to be adjacent. Angle 2 and 3 are sharing this common side, so they are adjacent in a different way. And then 3 and 4, same thing. This is their common side, and then 1 and 4 have those common sides. But the opposite ones are called vertical angles. Alright, going on to page 546. On page 546, the first one says, identify each pair of angles as complementary, supplementary, or neither. So complementary, we have to remember, complementary means they add up to be 90 degrees. Supplementary means they add up to be 180 degrees, and if they don't add up to one of those two, then they are neither. Either does not equal 90 or 180. Alright, so let me check these. 135 plus 45, well, if you add those together, you get 180. So those are supplementary. 23 and 67, when I add those, I get 90. So those are complementary. So I gave you one bonus one here. 106 plus 80 is 186. That is not on the list of 180 or 90, so those are neither. They're neither complementary nor supplementary. Remember, complementary adds up to 90, supplementary adds up to 180. So on number 3 it says, find the value of x. Well, here's what I know. GJK plus HJG adds up to be a straight angle of HJK. That means this plus this equals 180 because they are supplementary. So I could set that up as 3x plus 45 equals 180 degrees. They did. So let me undo. I get 135 equals 3x. Let me undo. Divide by 3, and I get x equals 45. So x has to equal 45 to make these supplementary. I'm going to do a little bonus problem here anyway, make sure. What if I said, I have a 50-degree angle. Find me the complementary angle and the supplementary angle. So let me draw kind of a 50-degree angle. The complementary angle would be this little angle here that adds up to be 90 with it. So 90 minus 50 would get me a 40-degree angle. This little angle here, I shouldn't say little angle, it's large, it's an obtuse angle now, adds up with the previous 50-degree angle to equal a straight angle, or 180. So if I take 180 minus the 50 I know, I get 130 degrees. So the complement of a 50-degree angle would be 40 degrees. The supplement of a 50-degree angle would be a 130-degree angle.